virtually on the screens that I have a quorum present. This meeting has been duly called. Its notice has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Our agenda now, we will now go into executive session. We'll adjourn to executive session as also authorized by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551001, concerning any and all purposes permitted by the Act. Should any final action, final decision, or final vote be required, that final action, final decision, and final vote shall take place in open session. We are now moving into executive session at 6:03 p.m.
So I guess somebody.
Okay, we are paused.
Executive session. We talk about that. We won't worry about it. Okay, Rusty, he's
in there. It's under my name, but he's in there.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so I don't need this for executive, so I'm going to leave that there.
Think so. Wait, we want to do the Zoom on here, not the stream? Oh, you want to put the stream on that one, or you want to put the Zoom on this one? It is 1, 2, whoa. Come on, Corey. Killing smalls. Killing. 1, 3, 2, 2, 2, 5. I think they do. You just need to listen. Not being recorded. Yeah. Says live on YouTube.
Hello?
Check. Right.
Hello, Ms. Hansard.
There we go. Okay, Kip, are we live and ready to roll?
We are, sir.
Okay, we will now reconvene back into our regular session. For those of you that have joined us from the outside, good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Santa Fe ISD Board of Trustees. I believe it's important this meeting be conducted in an organized and efficient manner. And to that, would like to outline the ground rules. Since we are virtually, we will not have any interruptions from the public, but we do thank you for being interested in your school district. And we encourage you to participate in the educational process of your children. When you have questions, when you have things, call, bring them up. We also appreciate your cooperation with us as a public in trying to conduct the business of the school right now under this unprecedented situation during this coronavirus pandemic. So, Mr. Davenport, would you lead us in an invocation, please?
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we just want to say thank you for allowing us to come together tonight. Dear Lord, most importantly, we want to say thank you for everything that you've done for our frontline folks, for all those that are putting themselves for the better of the general public and to keep us safe and healthy the best that we can. Dear Lord, we just pray for those that have been affected by this virus. Dear Lord, we just ask for healing for those families that have had tragedies and also safeness for those that are still trying to protect others. Dear Lord, it's asked as we move this district forward that you help us and give us the strength to make the right decisions on behalf of our students and staff. Dear Lord, I just want to say thank you for everything. In your name we pray.
Thank you, Mr. Davenport. Okay, do we have any action from our closed session tonight?
Yes, sir. The superintendent recommends that the board take action on contracts as detailed and related on the pages above as listed. Professional contacts are related action for the 2020-2021 school year.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the contracts that were presented. Is there any other questions or discussion? If not, I will call a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes also, so it is unanimous. Okay, thank you. Do we have any other action from our executive session?
No, sir.
Okay. With that, we will move into our public comment section, our public forum. As you know, the Board of Trustees hears public comment on agenda items at all open meetings in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Section 551007. Public comment on non-agenda items will be heard at the regularly scheduled board meeting in April, August, and December. Tonight, we have no one signed up for either tonight's meeting or the open public comment for April timeframe. So we will move on. To our information items. Dr. Wall, you have a couple things for us.
Yes, sir. So you do have monthly reports for your review, and we've added in your monthly reports this month, not only our typical department reports, but also the actions and information that's been transpiring since our closure or since the coronavirus began after spring break. So you have some more specific information there, and we'll continue to update that through this time period. We also, other than your regular monthly reports, we also have for your review information regarding information regarding your digital learning, and I believe there's some secondary grading guidelines. So one of the actions that we agreed to and approved last month was the ability for the schools to look at their grading policy and make adjustments as they see fit as we move through this process. So you'll also see those listed in your information items. So with that, I will pause and let Mr. Atkins update us on any projects going on in the district currently.
Okay. Well, one thing, the stoplight at G and a half and 1764 has a turn on notice for Thursday or Friday of this week. So that will become active Thursday or Friday, assuming TxDOT approved that turn on notice and comes and turns it on. The rest of the work at Barnett is 100% complete. All the punch lists are done. There's one extra item that we're waiting on a part for, and then we're doing warranty work. So that's going very well. Baseball fields, softball fields have been all completed. We did those last month. We are presenting today a bid or the guaranteed maximum price for the high school addition and renovation project. So that will start at the 1st of May, and will take 10 or 12 months to wrap up. Other than that, that's all I really got.
Okay, does anyone have any other questions for Bob from his monthly report?
Hey, Bob, this is Eric. By chance, so now that we're going to be officially closed for the remainder of the school season, do you happen to have a detailed roster of what your game plan would be going into the summer and into, obviously the 2021 school year in terms of what goes on in the capital project list, things of that nature, now that you have a little bit of extra time or anything? What do you have any kind of differences now that you have a little bit of time?
We didn't have a big plan for a lot of work this summer, short of the high school work, but on a maintenance side, we have Chris and I and Kevin, my facility manager, actually talked this morning and are making plans to start our annual custodial clean as soon as possible, probably within about 2 weeks. We want to communicate that out to all the campuses to give the teachers opportunities to go up and get items from their rooms like they typically would in a summer closure or at the end of school year. But that's going to actually help us clean, because typically we do a team clean. We'll grab all our custodians except a few service custodians at the campuses that are still open hosting summer school, and we'll go and clean a building. And in elementary we'll knock out in less than 8 days, and then the high school takes a little bit longer. But we're going to go ahead and clean it with the custodians that are assigned to those campuses, and then come back and maybe help team clean the high school in July, depending on construction activities. But so we are starting to have those conversations about projects, and we're identifying other projects that need to happen this summer and going ahead and getting those started. We do need to do repairs at the football field, and we're just waiting on some direction from graduation before we can pull the trigger on that. But I've had a lot of conversations with the company, and we're working on scheduled events. We just need to know when that's going to happen.
And then obviously, if we have an opportunity to not do as much social distancing and things of that nature, are we going to look at possibly bringing back some of the kids like we do most summers for the co-op?
So, Chris and I are going to talk about that and see if we need to hire kids this summer. Typically we hire 4 or 5 kids to be a paint crew. So that's something we're going to look at. But last summer was unique. We hired 20 or more kids, but we had a lot of moving to do, a lot of campuses to move folks around in. We fortunately, we're happy we don't have to do all that this summer. So.
Okay. So y'all just be putting a list together starting point forward.
Yes, we've already started that process.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Bob?
Do
If
we-
not, unless you, oh, I'm sorry,
Would we
someone-
discuss the items that I asked about now or later?
when we get to those items,
Gotcha.
please. Okay, Ms. Ross, I think you have an update for the teacher appraisal system for us. Unmute, Kim.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought that was Miss Hansard for the teacher appraisal. Let me get to it. Alrighty. Okay. Yes. Okay. So due to altered operations and focus on COVID-19, responses and distance learning for students, changes have occurred to many of our timelines and processes. We want to provide the board an overview of our employee appraisals for the 2019-2020 school year. As teacher appraisals are through the District of Innovation and changes are not being made to other employee appraisals, we are not asking the board to take any actions. Number one, teacher appraisals. We will do our best to complete as many portions of the appraisal process as we can. We will not do formal classroom observations virtually. Supervisors will hold end of the year conferences with teachers and complete the appraisal process as much as possible. And teachers will continue to be held accountable for the hard work they are doing, and supervisors will continue to support and guide. Principals will complete the principal appraisal process as we have adopted it. And then other campus administrators, we will complete the appraisal process as we have adopted it. All other employee appraisals will be completed to the extent we can complete them. It is our intent to complete. And so this was provided for your information.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Ross about that? If not, we will move on into our consent agenda. Dr. Wall?
Yes, sir. We have a few items for your consideration and approval on our consent agenda this evening, including our minutes, accounts payable, budget amendments, and attestation for closed but instructional missed school day waiver, which is required by TEA for us to receive credit along with those missed school days.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
President, I make a motion we approve as presented.
I second it.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as it was presented. Go with the roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger, Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger, can you hear me? Okay, he must be having some difficulty. I will also be a yes. So that motion is approved. Thank you. Okay, we will move on into our regular agenda. And our first item is going to be the purchase of some welding equipment.
Yes. Okay, so we received a 30,000 CCMR, College Career and Military Readiness Outcomes funds from TEA this school year. The purpose of these funds is to reward districts for preparing students for college, a career, or the military. Funds will be used to upgrade our welding shop through the purchase of a filtration system, a welding booth, 10 welding tables, 4 welders, an electrode oven totaling $30,812.81. The overage of $812.81 will be paid by using the Perkins grant. So consider and approve the purchase of welding equipment totaling $30,812.81.
Mr. President, I make a motion to consider and approve the purchase of welding equipment totaling $30,812.81.
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of the welding equipment. Any questions or comments? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes also, so it is unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, Ms. Hansard, we have some proclamations now. The first one is the school lunch hero.
Yes, sir. Nutritious meals at home are an essential part of the school day. The district's nutrition services staff and nutrition department are committed to providing healthy, nutritious meals to our children in the district. Now more than ever, in these unprecedented times with the COVID-19 pandemic, they are going above and beyond to prepare and deliver school meals to help nurture our students so that they are able to focus on learning. School Lunch Hero Day has been designated as May 1st, 2020 to show appreciation to these valuable employees and to commend them for their good work on behalf of our students.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim May 1st, 2020 as School Lunch Hero Day in Santa Fe ISD.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the School Hero Lunch Day proclamation. Any questions or comments? I will have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes also, so it has been approved unanimously. Okay, the next one will be the School Nurse Day proclamation.
Yes, sir. National School Nurse Day is May 6th, 2020. This day celebrates the many ways in which registered nurses strive to provide safe and high-quality patient care and map out the way to improve our healthcare system. The district would like to designate this day as National School Nurse Appreciation Day in Santa Fe ISD to honor the nurses and nurses' aides in our school. Approximately 4,500 students and over 672 staff members receive the benefits the campus nurses provide in our district. Thanks to the time and effort of our nursing staff, our students are more physically healthy and ready to tackle academics each school day.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim May 6, 2020 as National School Nurse Day in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Nurse Day proclamation. Any questions or comments? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes also, so it has been approved unanimously. Okay, next we have the Teacher Appreciation Week proclamation.
Our National Teacher Appreciation Week is May 4th through the 8th, 2020. The National Education Association describes National Teacher Week as a week for honoring teachers and recognizing the lasting contributions they make in our lives. We are truly amazed by the work that you are doing across the district. The theme, "Without You, I Never Would Have Learned," emphasizes the critical role teachers play in educating and shaping our children, the future leaders of our country. More than ever, this theme rings true across the district during this COVID-19 pandemic as teachers are delivering digital and remote learning. We know that there is a great talent and leadership across our district, and we are so grateful and proud to see all that they are accomplishing for our students and their families. They are kind, patient, hardworking, dedicated, and understanding professionals that mold our students' lives in a positive direction. Santa Fe ISD entrusts our students with teachers who on a daily basis affect a positive influence on their future.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim May 4th through the 8th, 2020 as Teacher Appreciation Week in Santa Fe ISD.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We approve the Teacher Appreciation Week proclamation. Any questions? Not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes also, so it is also approved unanimously. Okay, Ms. Hansard, I think you have one more, the Police Week proclamation.
Yes, sir. Santa Fe ISD employs more than 29 employees as law enforcement personnel. These employees use their knowledge and skills to ensure our students and staff are safe and secure on a daily basis. The district supports the vital role our law enforcement personnel play throughout the district in providing quality services that enable students to learn in a safe and secure environment. Peace Officers Memorial Day is May 13th, 2020, in honor of fallen officers and their families. U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff in their honor. National Police Week is designated the week of May 10th through the 16th, 2020, to publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation.
Mr. President, I move that the board declare that all flags in the district be flown at half-staff on May 13th, 2020, in honor of fallen officers and families, and proclaim the week of May 10th through 16th, 2020, as National Police Week at Santa Fe ISD.
I
Second.
second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the National Police Week proclamation. Any questions? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes as well, so it is also approved unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Hansard, for all those. Ms. Townsend, we have some donations that we need to approve.
Yes, sir. Anytime there's a donation over $5,000, we ask the Board of Trustees to approve it. We received $5,000 from the Santa Fe Baseball Booster Club for the overnight Brenham trip for the varsity baseball.
Mr. President, I make the motion to approve the acceptance of the donation that is greater than $5,000 received. The total donation is $5,000.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the donations. Any questions on that? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes, so it is approved unanimously as well. Okay, Mr. Atkins, we've got a couple here. The first one is the change order for the additional days for Division I construction.
Yes, sir. Division One's, contract had when we originally did the contract, we were scheduled to be done in May of 2019. Due to substantial weather delays and some scope changes related to May 18th on a project, the project didn't substantially complete until August 19th, 2019. So all this does is they did a change order, we did adjust days and change order in one of the first two change orders. This change order just closes out their contract for days and just makes them whole.
Brings no dollar amount with it, correct?
No dollar amount. So it's a zero cost to the district. It's just a paperwork piece for Division I to say that they finished the project on time.
I got you. Instead of overrunning it based off of their control. Gotcha.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the change order 3 with Division I construction, adding 60 days to their original contract for construction of Barnett Elementary School.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the change order for Division I on the days. Any questions on that? Not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes as well, so it has passed unanimously. Okay, Mr. Atkins, next we have the deductive change order for Division 1.
Yes, sir. So this is to zero out the contingency and allowance balances that were left on a project for the construction of the elementary school. We originally had a contract sum of $23,303,500 to construct the school. We did a change order of $1,050,000 after May 18th to hire Division 1 to do the high school work for us to get it ready for the 2019-2020 school year. I'm sorry, 2018-2019 school year. And then we also had another change order for security changes at Barnett based on May 18th. So, you know, the total contract had gotten up to $24,716,000. This will reduce it by $85,562 to a total contracted price of $24,631,153. This money will go back to pay for other bond projects that have already been completed.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve the deductive change order with Division 1 construction in the amount of $85,562.74.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this deductive change order for Division 1. Any questions? Not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hurtenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes as well, so it is passed unanimously. Okay, Mr. Atkins, next, I think you have a deductive change order for the EnviroTurf.
Yes, sir. So this is a similar thing. We're just cleaning up the contract to close it out. You know, the turf for baseball and softball with EnviroTurf was originally approved at $1.66 million. We added $82,000 contingency and bonds and insurance for the project. The contingency dollars were mostly spent, but there's some $1,794.29 left. So we'll zero out this contract with this deductive change order for $1,794.29 and just clean this up.
Hey, Bob, do we still have on the home side for the team, do they still not have a sidewalk going to their dugout?
I believe that's all poured. That's all done. Not on the home side. No, we don't have we didn't have the funds to be able to contract them to be able to pour all the way because there's not a sidewalk leading behind the bleachers from the home side of the bleachers over to the dugout. And we didn't have enough contingency dollars. So I would have had to do a change order to the contract to do that. It's something we can look at doing ourselves, or we could look at doing, you know, sometime soon, but I couldn't do it in this contract.
I got you. I don't think you could do it for that amount either.
Right.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the deductive change order with EnviroTurf Services LLC in amount of $1,794.29.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the deductive change order with EnviroTurf. You know, any questions? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Davenport,
Yes.
Mr. Hurtenberger,
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck,
Yes.
Mr. Logan,
Yes.
and I will be a yes as well, so it is passed unanimously. Okay, Bob, we got one more, the guaranteed maximum price for the high school additions and renovations.
Yes, sir. So we, on Thursday, 2 weeks ago, we got sub bids in at Duratec for the high school additions and renovations. You know, this project is funded through grant funds of $10.9 million we received from the state. Those funds also paid for some recovery costs and some changes to police needs, to meet police needs and stuff. So we had an overall construction budget of around just over $8 million, about $8.5 million. We decided based on our pricing practices to break out some extra work that wasn't related just to the addition into alternates. So we had 7 total alternates. Alternate 1, well, the base price for the addition came to $7,294,079. The alternates had their own price tags. Alternate 1 was $72,554. That's to add 5 light poles to the teardrop, and also rework the curve coming out of the teardrop towards the stoplight, so it's more easier to make that turn if we were to run buses through there or big trucks. Also, it includes adding a drive connector from the southeast portion of the main student parking lot to the road that goes to the stoplight. The police asked for that to help help with traffic on heavy traffic days such as graduation and football games. It would have a gate. That's what's in that alternate. Alternate 2, we had 3 bidders we wanted to get pricing for the BAS, the building automation system for the HVAC. We recommended Schneider. They're at $144,891, but 70+ thousand of that's going to be held in reserve for a building monitor system that they priced into that. It's something we're going to look at as an allowance at this point. The controls were competitive with the other 2 control companies, and that's the same controls we have in the building, so we're recommending them. Alternate 3 wasn't used, that's why I said there were 7. Alternate 4 changes the old dance, the current dance room, which is the old stage, and puts acoustical panels and acoustical matting in the ceiling in case the band wanted to use it. That's for $120,000. The exterior food court modifications have to do with putting a security fence around the exterior food court so that the kids could use that on a reward basis. The principal has $65,000 from Mattress Max he was going to put towards this. It's $100,880 if we do not do alternate 6, and it's $103,000 if we do alternate 6. Alternate 6 is adding a security lobby along that last window wall right there at the cafeteria. That one's $249,116. Alternate 7 is the building out of the counselor suite, also building the new nurses station behind the library, and building the AP suite. That one was $760,000, $484. And then the last alternate was modifying where the art rooms are now on the 2nd floor of the high school into more flexible rooms, possible computer labs, because we are taking out 2 computer labs if we do alternate 7, and that cost is $172,490. Right now, based on budget, my recommendation would be option 1 or option 2. We gave you 2 options. Option 1 includes alternates 1, 2, and 5 for not to exceed price of $7,467,513. Option 2 includes the security vestibule, which is the traffic changes, the controls contractor, and the project for the exterior dining, which is $7,719,667. We do have option 3, 4, and 5, which pick up more of the alternates, but they do get us over budget for the grant donation and would require funds out from elsewhere.
Anyone have any questions for Bob?
I'll do, Bob. It's a lot of information to digest in a short amount of time for me anyway. I don't know about the rest of the folks. the options that put us over budget, the item that you're taking out, are we focusing on the safety stuff items first to go in there as your ones that you recommended, or?
I think so. And then also understand that any of these options that we choose not to do can be done at a future project. So, this is what we've deemed as a phase one with a future phase two to be a CTE wing that would tie into this addition. And we could do any and all the options, any and all the alternates associated with that type of project in the future. So I think, obviously the new art rooms and the dance is the main focus. We have to do the BAS. I gotta be able to control the HVAC. The safety and security of option one is something we're looking at. So it's been, several folks have noted that the lights out on the exterior Highway 6 side of the teardrop, there are no parking lot lights. So that option includes 5 of those. It also makes that radius a little bit more safe for traffic, and then the traffic flow getting out of the stadium on heavy attendance days for police. And then option 5 is just kind of a student engagement piece, and then options and so that one, it doesn't have much security tied to it other than it opens up that space that's not available for them now to utilize for lunch. And that's something that the campus requested. So if we were to do option 1, that we would get all those in and we wouldn't be sacrificing any safety or things like that. If you went with option 2, you get the north security lobby. We would have the ability to leave metal detectors in place and they would enter similar, but the student control would force it into the cafeteria. That is something that the principal would like to see. And I think it would help her with student management in the morning from the bus runners.
Okay, another
Actually-
question, a little different. It's thank you for that. I appreciate it. When we send this out for bid, do they know how much our grant fund is before they start bidding on it, or we give them a window? This is what we need done, and then we go back and they give us their numbers, and we go, well, we're going to have to chop here, here, and here.
So what we did was we did this on called a CMAR contract, a construction manager at risk. We procured, we approved Duratec as our best value construction manager, general contractor in October of 2019. They bid based on a cost to do preliminary design and bidding practices and working. So they were a team with an architect before we designed everything. That cost was $27,000 in the contract. And then they bid on a guaranteed profit margin. I think their profit margin was 2.49%. So we procured them and we told them up front, our budget was, and it was kind of, we started with what we thought was a higher budget of about 9 million, and then we had to cut it down to 7 because we had refunded several things to the district. So when we started design, we were starting design meetings. We thought we had a little bit more money than we had. Once we finally nailed down what the budget range was, which was about 7.7 million for construction, not for total cost, because total cost of construction includes soft costs such as geotech, commissioning, architect fees, things like that.
The details to get it going.
Correct. So the overall construction cost is going to be right at about 9, but the construction contract cost is about 7.7 is the money we were looking at. And so once we went through our first pricing practice, we realized that what we were asking for was not coming in at prices we had hoped. Now, since we set the GMP at $7,294,079, we have since they found contracts that with contractors that we approved, and that number's already been reduced by 50,000, and we get all that money back. So as they buy out the project, if they buy out with a contract with lower cost, that goes into what they call buyout or contingency. And if we don't spend it on other things, then we can we will get 100% of that funds back. So only thing that Duratech is guaranteed is a profit margin on the project cost. Any money that's not spent because we went with a lower cost contractor and we got a better deal comes back to the district at the end of the.
This is typical of how the other cities or municipalities, when they do it, they award it to one major, and then he goes out now and beats up on the subs basically to get cheaper margins.
Right, and we were in the room and we get to tell them, hey, you know, I've worked with that sub and he underperformed. What about this one? Or we get to say, hey, look, those two guys are really close. That one that's a little bit higher, go see what they're doing. Or we have a sub that did all the network cabling at Barnett and did all the security at Barnett, and they didn't bid. We're like, go get a bid from them and see where they are, because we want to know that our numbers are good and they know our systems. So we would like to possibly work with them again if their numbers competitive. So it gives us more flexibility on subs. This is the first project I've bid this way since I've been with the district 11 years, because most of the time our bond dollars is how we've done these projects, and doing them competitively, competitive seal proposals where they go and they take sub numbers and they give us an overall bid number and we pick the best value general contractor. We don't get any input on the sub has been more economical. But with this project, because we had such a hard fixed budget, because we have such a short timeline to actually construct this, you get this fully funded, because all funds have to be expensed by August of 2021 or they take them back. We felt like this was the best way to go procure this project. And I think it turned out it was, because we realized if we would have been taking bids now on a competitive seal proposal, we would take another month or 2 months to cut this project down to something that fits in budget and would put us really up against a hard deadline. This allows us to know now that, hey, we can start May 1st and get moving on this project, and we don't have any real delays. I will say that if alternate 6 is something that was wanted to be considered, it could start in July if we wanted to wait. We're waiting on an AEP grant of $1.4 million to hear if we're going to get approved for that or not. If we're not, then that number is got to come from somewhere. And right now it's not in that 10.9, and we would like it to come in out of that 10.9. I put some backup in on page 149, and it said if we were to choose option 1, we would have $516,000 left in budget. So that would help offset that $1.4 million grant if we were not to get that. And that's to refund some dollars to us for the high school work that we did, all the renovations and stuff we did to get the high school ready to have kids back in it. Option 2 would leave $248,000 in there. Option 3 would put us over budget by almost $300,000. So that's why I'm recommending option 1 or option 2.
Any other questions for Bob?
One question, and I think I heard you say, and if I missed it, I apologize, but these options have been discussed at length with obviously Create as well as the high school administration.
Yes, they have. Create has been a great team player with us, and then we've talked to the high school administration about it. I actually got with Rachel on the security vestibule to see what her thoughts were, because it's not as big as our police chief would want. And so he was like, it's not as big as a front vestibule. And so he wasn't exactly, big gung ho for it. But Rachel, it affects her differently. It instead of bringing the kids in to, they call it A hall, but they go in there and then they're tied in the academic wing. This would bring them in and funnel them in the cafeteria. They could secure off the academic wing for 15 or 20 minutes. So it would take less teachers on duty to be able to manage the students. So she has a different need for it. Also, it keeps them from having to move metal detectors and tables every day, because they would always stay up. It would close off after they're done in the morning, and nobody be back in there till the next morning. So there's some benefits to option 2. I mean, but for that secure vestibule, it's just y'all's decision.
And I know, and obviously, and I just, for those watching at home and everything else, when I say administration, I know I'm assuming the affected departments within the high school have been considered as well, such as the art, the dance, and all the other players.
Yeah, so they've had enormous input on the design and concept of this project, especially the addition. But every person in the high school had enormous input. So everything from the style of the art rooms, how we build them, how we tie them together, how they store the materials. The creatives come up with some custom-made storage cabinetry that they went and actually cataloged everything that the art department has in storage currently, and then designed their storage around that, both on both floors, because this is a 2-story addition. The dance studio is designed around the size of a basketball court, because that's typically what they dance on. And we added striping for the basketball court. So we took in a lot of account from all the end users. The AP suite was designed with the APs in mind, the counselor suite, the nurses station. So we definitely have all of their buy-in on all the pieces of the project.
Well, and knowing obviously that, everybody has a wish list. I mean, we can't make everybody happy. We get that. And we understand that. But for the most part, what I'm hearing is we've at least reached out to the end users. We've made sure that they are included in the process. They may not be always happy with the end, but in the end, we're trying to do what's best for the general population of the high school and staff, and not necessarily for just certain want-to-haves and everything else.
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, to me, it seems like they've done an excellent job of getting through because, as you mentioned, Eric, there's a lot of things people would like to see, but we had to keep within the spirit of what this money could actually be spent for. But then what it's also done is given some ideas and indications of what people may want in the future if we go out for future bonds, future renovations or additions or whatnot. That was a great start for that. But again, we had to keep in spirit of the intent of the money as it was given to us from the state. Any other questions for
I agree
Bob?
with that.
Any other questions for Bob?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, what's your pleasure? Not yet.
Huh?
Dr. Wall asked if we had a motion yet, and I said not yet.
Oh, Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve option 2, approve the guaranteed maximum price, including alternates 1, 2, 5, and 6, not to exceed $7,719,667 for Duratech to construct the high school additions and renovation projects.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve option 2 that was presented to us. Are there any other questions or comments about that?
Option 2 is within budget, correct?
Yes.
And just one last question, were these talked about at Finance Committee?
Yes. And that's one of the things that we discussed. And my personal opinion was I was very apprehensive about going over budget at this point in time with all the uncertainty we have going on right now. And that was one of the reasons that I didn't want to go with any of the others that were over budget.
Yeah, if you'll look on, like I said, page 149, it details all the soft costs and all the everything that's been expensed out of the 10.9 million. And you'll see that option 2 with all the soft costs, which is all the non stuff related to the Duratech contract, but still related to the project, we're $248,000 under budget.
I think you did a great job, Bob.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad to see that we went we got all this, we got what we wanted plus extra safety.
Yes.
Any other questions for Bob? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Davenport?
Yes.
Mr. Hertenberger?
Yes.
Mr. Grassmuck?
Yes.
Mr. Logan?
Yes.
And I will be a yes as well, so it is unanimously approved. Okay, that is all our regular agenda items for tonight. So we're going to move into a little communication quick. And I'm just going to go, as I see people on the screen. Ms. Hansard, I'm going to start with you.
Thank you, Mr. Norman. I'd just like to say that it's great to see all of you here with us and healthy and safe. And I just wanted to extend yet again a huge thanks to all our staff who continue to work tirelessly every day in the best interest of our students in this district. And we probably need to extend that National Teacher Appreciation Week to our parents out there as well, because they're a huge part of all of this learning. And we know that that's, these are uncertain times, they're difficult times, and it's difficult to work and educate your children at the same time. But just know that we are here, all of us in the district, to help. And once again, like I said, just can't say enough about all of our district personnel who work every day to ensure that our kids are being taken care of and our families are being taken care of, and our families. And I'll leave with what I say every week, but we're really stronger together. So thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Atkins.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for all the hard work. I know it's been extremely an extreme change. Change is never easy, and the district and all the teachers and administrators have really met the challenge from everything I'm hearing. So it's a great job. Also want to thank Jerry for being here tonight. And I think Duratech was also online to join the board meeting. Want to thank them. Looking forward to having a good project with those guys and getting this done in the next 10 months.
Ms. Ross.
Yes, thank you. Although we were saddened by the announcement for the distance learning to be extended, we have no doubt, though, and we hope that our community understands that without a doubt, we are here to support and give our students all that they need. Our teachers, our administrators, our coaches, our nutrition staff, our maintenance, everybody is working so hard behind the scenes, unless you get to see them digitally, such as this, to make certain that we're doing all we can to support all of our students and our families during this time. And I just wanted to reassure you all that if you have questions, we have multiple ways that you all can reach out to get in touch with us. We thank you, parents, for supporting all of the learning at home. Like Ms. Hansard said, it's celebrating you as well with being a teacher. And we appreciate that, because we understand that, it takes a lot of patience and, a lot of tenacity in order to be able to be equipped with that task of patience of a parent and a teacher all at once. So we do appreciate it, but we're here for you, and we're going to finish this off. It may be a different way, but we're going to do it in style. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Ms. Townsend.
Well, we certainly miss our work family, and it's good to see everybody this evening. Bob didn't mention it on his summer list, but he has done some things that he has on his board report. They fixed a special needs room at the high school. They've got the flooring fixed, and there's work on the FEMA roof. The roof at the high school had some FEMA issues, and so they're working on that. And the junior high had some door frames done. So we do have our list that's been, he's been working on. We're working on budget, and we're just keeping it going. We certainly appreciate everyone. The business services is continuing to pay invoices and purchases and P cards and collecting taxes and payroll, and certainly appreciate Cherie and her group for feeding all the students, and transportation for sending them around, and the maintenance custodians for cleaning up after us, and technology for keeping us running. So we just appreciate everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Davenport.
So I got a couple things, and Bob, if you don't mind unmuting yours real quick. I believe I've been working with the wizard behind the scenes, Mr. Kip Robbins. There's a question that's out there from the community that I kind of want to touch in this communication. It's about when students can possibly return if they have any belongings or anything else in any of the campuses. And I don't know, obviously your team will be in there and everything else, but I was going to say, if you could work that out with Dr. Wall or whoever else to get some form of a communication out to parents if they have something in there they might would like to possibly get. So,
Mr. Sorry,
no.
Mr. Davenport, I was just going to let you know that, we have the FAQs, the portal, and we actually had that question today, and we posted it in the portal that our campus administrative team is working on procedures and protocols. And once that they are able to get those into place, then we will communicate that out. But we did put that answer in the portal. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those that are watching as well. Number two thing that I know, at least there's some social media comments going around where some of our board members are being tagged about doing stuff for the seniors. We want to make sure that first and foremost, thank you for including us on some of those, but obviously please recognize that when we have multiple board members that are tagged in a particular thread on social media and things of that nature, that we can possibly get into what's called a quorum. And we do not respond to those, but we'd be willing to entertain any direct phone calls if you want to talk to us openly. So I just wanted to kind of mention that to those that are watching or those that are going to watch this recording. Number three on my things here, it's been a really joy seeing everybody come together and put forth effort to make things work, to make things happen. We're all living in a brand new environment with this COVID-19. And for that, I know it puts all of us, including our family, our kids, our loved ones, in different times that are uncharted waters. So keep striving to do what's best. I'll say the same thing I said last Thursday in the board workshop for budget. Parents that are listening out there, if you have 1, 2, 3, however many children you have out there and you think this is hard to educate them because you're trying to do work on your own career as well as your kids' schoolwork, now amplify that because our ratio around the district is about 22 students to every teacher. So put that in perspective that our teachers are truly fighting the best fight ever, not only providing instruction for our kids, but also managing behaviors, managing just kids being kids. So my heart goes out to each and every teacher and staff and aide that is within our district, and especially the new teachers that we have in our community that are called parents, as well as across the great state of Texas and the nation. So thank you for everybody that's doing that and doing your part. The trick to that is, even though the governor last Friday has said that schools will be closed to having kids come in, do not stop teaching your kids. Please continue on. That does not give you an opportunity and a free pass to have a 4-month, 5-month summer. Continue forward, because obviously these kids need to progress. The teachers, once they move up to the next layer, a next grade level, they have to be able to build on what the foundation was from the previous year. And I can't wait to see results from not only our curriculum instruction with Ms. Ross and her team, as well as the campus leadership and the rest of the staff. So I just ask that you keep pushing, keep things moving forward. And last but not least, all those on the front lines, thank you for everything. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing for the community and as well as for your neighbor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Grassmuck.
Well, as usual, Eric covered 99% of the world. Continue doing what you're doing. Everybody's doing a good job, and it's amazing the progress that has been made so quickly. I'm trying to do probably like most others and not be completely bummed out that seasons are canceled and hadn't seen everybody in person in forever. And so I'm kind of like everybody else, trying to just deal with it. But keep your heads up. Do not let, especially you seniors out there, do not let this define who you are. You're bigger than this. So keep your heads up and continue to plug along.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kelly.
Great points by everybody. I'm glad to see everybody's well. It makes me proud to be part of a district where we have everybody that's on top of everything like you guys are. Dr. Wall, thank you for your team and everybody just keep up the great work. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Mr. Hertenberger.
Sorry. I want to personally thank all the presenters. Thank you to the staff, teachers, kids, parents for jumping on board, being so positive. We're in week 5, and it seems like we've been doing this for a year straight. So again, great job. I personally get to see it on all 3 fronts. My wife's a teacher, got a student, and I have employees that are working from home and being teachers as well. So there's a lot of positive feedback that I hear on my side for the staff. So I don't know if Kip's involved in it or not, but great job to Kip and his staff and all that's behind the scenes, making it come together like they did. That's all I have. Everybody be safe. Guys, students, seniors, keep your glass half full. Everything happens for a reason. So something better is going to be coming for you down the road. Thank you.
Mr. Snyder.
I think it's all been covered. The main thing is that, proud of how our students and teachers, and thank you to Dr. Wall and all the staff, what they're doing. It's been a rough time for everybody, and I reiterate what everybody else said. When Mr. Besborough said, seniors, you can't let this defy you. It's a different time, different age, but you're Santa Fe strong and you will make it through this, and we all will make it through this. I want to personally thank everybody for doing what we have to do and being a team player. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Logan.
I'm gonna follow on everybody else's sleeves. Thank everything for what they've done. Please let all the teachers and everyone know they're doing a great job, and hopefully we can all get back together and see each other soon. Everybody be safe.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Wall, you have anything else?
Well, great comments. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all the board for your support. Mr. Hertenberger, great questions and working through the contract information for this evening. So we appreciate that discussion as well. And as Ms. Ross and others have said, we're disappointed that we're not going to be able to open up our doors and see our students and our staff return for the end of the school year, but we are going to continue. So thank you, Mr. Davenport. We are not stopping. We are pushing ahead to ensure our students learn as much as possible between now and the end of our school year and into the summer. So we're looking forward to planning for summer school as well. And we also know that we want to honor and celebrate our seniors, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to make that happen in the next several months with multiple opportunities for them to shine. So we thank you all for working with us and all of us for focusing on our students in Santa Fe ISD and staying strong together, doing our best. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Dr. Wall. Just a couple items. I want to thank, first off, the budget workshop info that was mentioned that we had last week. It's that time of year. We always take budget seriously, and we're working on making sure that we end this year right and starting off a new year. And obviously there's some unknowns, but that was a good workshop and appreciate that. And there'll be more to come on budgets. I think we had a lot of good discussion tonight. This is an important phase that we just took the step now of utilizing the money that the state gave to us to start some renovations at the high school. I think that's very important. We've had people displaced and things just not the same since May of 2018. And this is a step to start moving forward with new renovations and some things. And it's a good opportunity for us to show the state that we've taken that seriously, and we're going to do well with that money, as we're going to be continuing to ask for more in the future. Few other things that come along with that, with an announcement from the governor last Friday shutting schools down for the rest of this year. There's a lot of questions that are still unanswered. The administration here has done a great job of planning and trying to do as much as they can do. The questions that are still out there, though, there are some that they'll be waiting for answers from the education commissioner and a few folks like that as they plan. But rest assured, and those of you in the public, as well as our staff and students that may be watching, that the administration has been working hard to try to lessen the impact of this and make this as best a time as possible. You know, it's unprecedented. But as many of you said, we will move forward with all this. There's a couple other things. The Memorial Committee that has been working diligently for quite a while now is asking for some time to make a presentation, and we were hoping to do that live, but not sure now that that's going to be able to happen. So for you board members and some of the staff members, we'll be working on a time for receiving something from the Memorial Committee, because as we start these high school renovations, we'd also like to get moving on their recommendations and make all that happen as soon as possible. With that, again, I just want to reiterate thanks to everyone that's out there. I've heard more comments from parents, as Clay, I think you put it, parent teachers, and on that this is just, it's a time that no one saw coming and not real sure. We hope that we may start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, but there's still a lot of unknowns. And so we're asking for everyone's support and their diligence, both with the staff and the parents, and making sure that the students stay focused now that they know they're not coming back to their campus, that they continue to take their work seriously and build on that, because we will be back. We will be back at some point in time, and they want to all move to the next level. And so please just take this serious. If you have issues at home with the teaching or anything with the technology department we have, with the teachers and staff we have, they can help you in many ways. So if you're having issues, don't let that get in your way, and don't let it build into a big problem. Nip it now while it's small if it becomes an issue, and we'll take care of it, because we want to finish this school year on a very high note with what we have to work with. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Since I can see every one of you, if you will raise your hand and show me that you're in favor of adjourning. And that is unanimous. We are now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.